What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the different brands that we could see being introduced into VEVE Marketplace with this new association between Akomi and Capcom. Before we do this, if you enjoy this video and find it in any way useful to you, then please consider subscribing to the channel, dropping a like on this video, and just let me know in the comment section what your thoughts and feelings are behind Capcom, what NFTs you would like to see, and if there's anything in this video that you sort of want to add to, any ideas you want to share, and maybe potentially some brands you'd like to see me break down. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to have a look into this. So, the first thing I want to do is take a look at this most recent retweet that Akomi have made, sort of verifying over 100 brands being released into Akomi. I do believe this will be rolled out over the coming months and over the coming years as they allow this marketplace to develop, as they continue to sort of move forward within NFTs and becoming that pinhead, that monopoly within this space. But the focal point of this video is we're going to look at Capcom and get an idea of the different brands and the different NFTs we could see being released. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the total amount of sales that have been produced by the games that Capcom have been able to release. Now, the reason why I like to do this is when you look at a game or look at a franchise that's been released, seeing the amount of revenue being generated, or in this case, the amount of units that have been sold, you can get a general feel, a general idea behind how many fans actually enjoy the game, how many people are interested in what the in this particular section or the particular franchise of Capcom. So we can see maybe an idea of the different NFTs that can be released, because volume of sales correlates to demand, and demand correlates to fans, and having passionate fans indicates, in my opinion, sort of more positive signs behind why they would introduce it as an NFT. Because if the brand didn't have big sales, then there really wouldn't be much point in introducing them into NFTs or introducing it over, because you want to see that demand, you want to see that growth, you want to see those sales to verify and justify the reasoning to create the NFT. So in this particular example, we're looking at units sold, which essentially is just how many games, how many individual games were sold for this particular game itself. And as you can see, we've got millions of units sold across a variety of different style games. We've got Monster Hunter, Street Fighter. Now, these are brands that have already been confirmed by Akomi, by VEVE. These are going to be brought into the NFT space. So I will be doing videos covering the history behind these brands and taking a look into sort of what they've been able to produce in later videos. But in this one, let's just carry on going through. We've got Resident Evil. I mean, another huge game by Capcom. Resident Evil, there is plenty of different sort of series of like Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4. So we could see, this sort of validates and highlights my point. When you've got a game that is in demand and you see them releasing multiple different versions of it, it means that they've got a passionate fan base that want to see more sort of expansion on their favourite game, which means they're more likely, if an NFT was released and it was marketed in the right way, they would come into the VEVE Marketplace and get involved with NFTs and become sort of a new adoption and sort of that new interest of NFTs and take that leap into this new establishing space. So I'm just going to keep scrolling down here. We've got Dead Rising 2. We've got Devil May Cry, massive game. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Basically, Marvel and Capcom have done a variety of different games. If you played them before, it's sort of they're sort of in the style of Street Fighter. They're fighting style games, and I think this just further highlights that the point I made in my Sony video, between that connection with Sony, Spider-Man being part of the Marvel franchise, and now we're seeing Capcom and their involvement with Marvel as well. And we can see this sort of spiderweb effect happening as these different brands are co-mingle with one another, and maybe potentially sort of bringing the curtain down and us being able to see what's been going on behind the closed doors, because I do truly believe Marvel will be introduced. I do see this brand coming. There's too many different connective elements together to suggest that this wouldn't happen. So if I keep going down, we can just see all these different brands, and a lot of these all in the millions of sales and millions of units sold. And if we carry on going right down here, we can see sort of their best-selling franchises. And we've got Resident Evil being the #1. Now, this hasn't been released yet about them bringing Resident Evil in, but I do believe if they've got Monster Hunter and Street Fighter, and these were successful NFT launches, then I do believe we could see them bringing in their largest franchise, which is Resident Evil. And like we say, we've got Mega Man, Devil May Cry, Marvel vs. Capcom, Lost Planet, Dragon's Dogma, Dino Crisis, just further highlighting the sort of variety of different games and variety of different NFTs we could see being introduced into the space and into the VeVe marketplace, and how we could see their fan bases and their loyal fans being brought over into the VeVe marketplace and getting involved with NFTs. The next thing I want to sort of look at here is a list of Capcom games. I've done this to sort of give you an understanding behind my point before, how even though we're only looking at a small section of the most successful games, Capcom have released a plethora, many different styles, many different titles. And I'll just click on here as just an example and scroll through. As we can see, all these different style games. We've got Asher's Wrath, Avengers, we've got Biocommand, and I'm just going to go through. And like I said before, not all of these games would have been big hits. Not all of them would have been very popular, but it just goes to show they've released a ton of different stuff. They are juggernauts in the gaming space. I think it further highlights the points I made in the previous videos, that I do believe that VeVe are going to branch out into gaming. They are making many different connections between Sony, which is, I believe, has got a much heavier connection towards gaming. We've got Capcom, we've got DC, and just further highlighting that branching effect I think we're seeing with VeVe right now. Because what we see in the marketplace as of right now in terms of these sort of action figure style NFTs, I just don't feel this is the only marketplace they're going to break into. I think there's a lot of different plays going on in the background. I think there is a lot of different visions being worked on in terms of maybe breaking out into music, breaking out into gaming, breaking out into NFT art, breaking out into more sort of NFT styles that we've seen right now, action figure style NFTs. And I just see them branching out into these many different marketplaces. And this introduction of Capcom further validates my point of them looking to get into the gaming style niche. And I think it's the perfect brand to do this. The next thing I just want to touch upon Marvel versus Capcom. So they have many different games that have been released between Marvel and Capcom. It's sort of quite an iconic launch, really. The two sort of head of I don't really know, you call it like head of superheroes almost, but in different areas. We've got Marvel, we've got Capcom, and they sort of create these games of where they fight against each other. And I just think it highlights that connective element that we've seen VeVe do right now. This is just further validating that potential between bringing Marvel into this space, bringing Marvel into the NFT space, just showing that branching effect we can see. And I just thought it was a worthwhile point to make. You know, we've also got connections here with X-Men. You know, the opportunities with this are endless. There are so many areas it could web into. I just think there has to be a larger vision at play here. There's got to be a bigger vision that's been sort of portrayed out to these brands. The reason why we're seeing all these huge names in the world being brought into this, one of the leading marketing agencies, PR agencies in the whole of America and essentially respected across the world, being brought into this to sort of push the vision of VeVe and just further highlighting my speculation or my thoughts and feelings that they're going to branch out into these other areas. The next thing I sort of want to have a look at here is Street Fighter and Tekken, because I think now that we've seen Street Fighter being confirmed, I think there is potentially we could see more fighting style NFTs brought into this. Because if you're going to go into one area, then I can't see why you wouldn't want to go into another. And seeing Capcom have associations with Tekken and Tekken being owned by Bandai, which just further validates these points I've been making, that these connective elements within gaming, I think we'll continue to see these style of NFTs be brought out. I think we'll further see developments within the technology of VeVe, making the NFTs more interactive, sort of incorporating the augmented reality, incorporating gaming, and incorporating all these different elements. And we can see as these brands sort of get brought into this and being highlighted and being brought into this space, we could see these sort of bigger picture, bigger visions being brought together. And the last thing I just want to touch on here was just a little connection that we've seen here, that there's an in-house market and music label established in cooperation with Sony, sort of pushing that connection between Capcom and Sony. The point I was making before, that these brands have definitely been sold this vision and they're all getting involved with this together, sort of bringing these different elements, bringing these different pieces together so that you can allow VeVe's marketplace to develop and control this NFT space. Because we are in this really early. When I'm shooting this video as of the 3rd of May 2021. Akomi was released a few years back, but really started to impact in this space a few months ago. And they've made huge moves. 250,000 app downloads, many different brand releases, many different updates, seamless. In some ways, the last launch was a seamless launch of their NFTs. And I just see that this was their play. they're taking it slow. They're introducing these larger brands over time to sort of facilitate that demand within NFTs, and just sort of bringing in these new ideas and these new stemming areas that iron out the bugs within the app. And it's just such an exciting time to be a part of this. We are very, very blessed right now. We are watching a global brand being sort of paved out right in front of our eyes. And I just think that's the area of focus we should be looking at right now. And that's the area of focus I've got for my channel. So I hope this was useful to you. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you've sort of got an idea of potentially the type of brands you might see being introduced from Capcom. If you've stuck around this long, then please feel free to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments section your thoughts and feelings. But I just want to say thank you for being here again. I really appreciate the support, and I'll be sure to deliver videos on a daily basis to sort of allow you to sort of share my thoughts and feelings with you moving forward. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.